Hi, everybody. Master trainer and wellness enthusiast, Kiona Leah, back with you guys for another Wellness Wednesday. It's a little bit of a late one, which is a little bit ironic given our topic for tonight, which is upside down cortisol levels. Now, normally the way our cortisol should work is when we wake up in the morning, it's going to ramp up really quickly. And then it's going to stay high, and then kind of slowly throughout the day, it's going to start to descend downward. And by the time we go to sleep, it's about depleted. Now, we often like to think of cortisol as our stress hormone, which it is. However, that's not its only job. In reality, its real job is to give us energy. It is one of our energy hormones, one of the things that gives us our get up and go. Part of that is that whole idea of fight or flight. Get up and go really fast. That's kind of the idea behind cortisol, or at least in a very general sense of the word, that's one of the main ideas. So that's why we want it high in the morning and low at night. But what if you are one of those unfortunate people who is upside down? It's high at night and low in the morning. You might be like me. You wake up so tired and so draggy, and it's so hard to get yourself going. And especially for those that may have caffeine and other things that they have to rely on to be able to function in the morning, it can be a problem. But then you try to go to sleep and your brain just goes, and your body just goes, and you just can't wind down. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about stuff we can do about this to help our body help itself. We're not talking about hormone replacement. Of course, you should really have this tested with your doctor, which is what I did probably 4 years ago. Might be wrong, but I think it was about 4 years ago that my doctor administered a test for me throughout the day that I was giving lab samples for them to test my cortisol levels throughout the day. So this is how I learned that my cortisol was upside down, or kind of all over the place. Mine is a little bit just all over the place. It's not straight up upside down either, but it really wasn't high in the morning like I needed, and then it would tick back up. It would kind of drop down and then tick back up towards the end of the day. Working with this can also help really give us amazing results when we're looking to lose inches. This is one that's connected to our belly camp in a lot of ways, because a lot of times that excess cortisol, where do we put it? Right here on the belly. Whew. This is one of the reasons why men tend to be more subjected to it than women, because of the fact that they tend to be under more stress, and the way their body holds stress is much more at a higher cortisol level. So we want to work with this. Now, I've been doing moves on the channels for fast versus slow. And this was one of the first and main points that I looked at when I did a really quick search on this. And that is exercise, movement, fast movement, getting your heart rate up. That's going to increase your cortisol. It's that stress response going into your body. So your high octane moves, plies, lunges, running, high intensity walking, things that really get your heart pumping, these are going to also work with your body to increase cortisol levels. When do you want to do those? Early in the day. First thing in the morning, if you can do it, is going to drive that cortisol level up, and then it's going to allow the body to then naturally allow it to taper off throughout the day like it's supposed to. So think about hitting a set of hoedowns, especially a set of sugar buster hoedowns, first thing in the morning, because insulin and cortisol are linked in that opposite direction. So as your insulin goes down, your cortisol goes up. That brings us to our second point, which is you can work with your food. Now, forever and ever and ever within our TTAP method, we really were focused on protein for building blocks, which it is. So we wanted higher protein at night, so when you sleep, you've got more building blocks because your body's resting and repairing, which is great. But if you can't sleep, that doesn't help you. If you do high protein in the morning, that's going to keep that insulin level low, which again allows the cortisol to go up. Then you can tick up throughout the day for those carbs more and more in those meals later in the day. And you might actually notice that you fall asleep easier and faster because of the fact that now you're starting to increase your insulin to take care of that blood sugar, and that's going to deplete your cortisol and allow the body to start resting. Don't go crazy with it. And make sure you're doing healthy carbs, things like your sweet potatoes or your healthy vegetables, even some fruit, but things like apples, bananas, stuff like that, that's going to increase but not overdo that sugar response in the body. That's another great way to really work with that. So workout and protein first thing in the morning. And if you want to work out later in the day, pick those slower moves. Pick your stretching routines. Pick things on the floor. They're going to make a difference. There's a couple supplements we can look at as well. Omega-3s also really help balance that out, bring that down. So if you look at having those later in the day, that's going to make a big difference. For me, this is a bit of a shift because I love to start my day with smoked salmon, which is, of course, fish, high in those omega-3 fatty acids. So having that fish later in the day can help as well. Pantothenic acid, which is also known as B5, and the recommendations were for in a B complex that you look at having pantothenic acid. Now, B vitamins in general give your body energy. The nice thing about having them is what that does is then your body doesn't have to work as hard to create that cortisol to give yourself some energy. So you can add that into what you're doing as well. And the final supplement that was on the list was vitamin C. Up to 1,000 milligrams, just 1 gram of vitamin C can help balance everything. Remember, we want to work with all of our endocrine system to really make a big difference in having that healthy balance. We're looking for that homeostasis. And of course, here's our last tip, and we're going to do this together because it is late at night, and I did just do some walking and some plies to make sure you guys had all the videos that you could look at for contrast from fast to slow. But of course, relaxation. All of us that have issues with relaxation and too much stress, we've heard this time and time and time again from all the different people and all the different gurus, and it can get overwhelming. It can really get overwhelming of, if I could relax, I would, right? I know my people know me. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So here's a really quick, simple one that I learned many years ago. And I use this at work all the time when I start getting really stressed out. And that is the 5 breaths. So we're going to do our 5 breaths together to bring down that cortisol response and really get ourselves into that more rest and relax mode. Hand on the chest, hand on that sternum right underneath. And very similar to our 360 breathing, but we're not going to focus so much on technique. We just want to focus on nice speed. So we're going to inhale and feel everything expand. You can even close your eyes as you do it. Inhale. Hold it for a count of 4 and then exhale. And remember, when we really think about our 360 breathing, let that chest start to drop down and fold into the belly button. Inhale. Here's number 2. Hold 2, 3, 4, exhale. Here's number 3. Inhale. Hold 2, 3, 4, exhale. Number 4, inhale. Hold 2, 3, 4, exhale. Very last one, number 5. Inhale. Hold 2, 3, 4, exhale. Do you feel the difference? It really does help downshift that entire system. Just 5 breaths. Doesn't take long. And it's easy to do. The reality is, it's even easier if you just count them. Inhale. Number 1, exhale. Number 2, exhale. Number 3, a lot of times that helps me keep on track because otherwise the ADD gets into me. If you guys are curious, this reminds me of a great meme that I saw my friend Megan had posted about alternate nostril breathing. If you guys want to learn more about it, let me know. Comment below. Of course, make sure, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe so that you get all of our class quips and Wellness Wednesdays. Share this with your friends so we can keep building and expanding. Don't forget to comment. Tell me what you guys want to work on next week. We're focusing on feet and ankles for our workouts next week. So we might do a Wellness Wednesday on that, or we might do something else. Let me know. In the meantime, I'm Kiona Leah. I want to see you guys move, live, and thrive. So I will see you on the next one.